Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Frantic Talks Podcast, episode 39. I am your host, Frantic. Along with me, as always, is my lovely co-host,
Grunt.
And we are here to talk about video games.
And junk.
And junk, of course. All right, we got a jam-packed full episode today. I will apologize in advance to anyone who is looking to hear anything that isn't Destiny-related. You're probably not going to hear that. That's a lie. There's a very small amount of things we're planning to talk about, but it's going to be all about the new Destiny expansion, Rise of Iron, that came out about a week and a half ago, right?
Yeah. Actually, a week and a half. Almost 2 weeks.
Yep, so it's been out for almost 2 weeks. We weren't here last week. We're quite busy with some stuff going on that past weekend, but we will definitely fill you in on everything you might have missed if you haven't already been hearing about it. It's going to be awesome. But we're going to start this out, as always, without talking about our week first. We're going to advertise. I almost caught Grunt off guard there. I can tell.
Oh, yeah. I'm off guard. I don't know what to do.
All right.
I'm going to be out of it for the rest of this episode.
Yep, he's done. And it's kind of bad. I was kind of leaning on him for information. Anyways, when I say advertising, I definitely mean where to find us beyond listening to this podcast. So, Twitter. That's our main form of talking to people. You can go to twitter.com/FranticJ3 or /OnyxSpartan, ONYX and then Spartan. You will find me or him. See if I point the right way? Yep, I did. You can find him or me. Talk to us just both ways. You can talk to us about whatever you want. We'll most likely talk back. That's usually how that works. But that's where you can hit us up. If you want to talk to the official Frantic Talks account, we have had people tweeting to us recently talking about our last podcast episode, which was really good, I believe. Or was it the last one or the one before? I don't remember.
The one before, if it's what I'm thinking you're thinking of.
Yeah, the one before we talked about ways to play games.
Yep.
It's at Frantic. We're at Frantic_Talks. We'll definitely interact with you, although you probably won't be able to figure out which one of us is talking to you. Actually, you probably will, but that's not the point.
You will be able to. Oh, yeah, definitely.
You can hit us up, like I said, on Twitter. Head to facebook.com/Frantic Talks. That'll be all one word. You can find us posting our mostly our podcasts and articles there. We don't really do much beyond that. Twitter's just much easier to interact with people. If you want to catch this podcast live every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, usually every Saturday, usually 3 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/FranticJ3 the third. That's FranticJ3. THE 3 RD. Because some bastard took FranticJ3. I still have yet to reserve Frantic Talks, by the way. I probably should do that.
You should. I'm going to sit you in a corner and chain you to your desk until you get it. Your desk is in the corner, right? Okay, good.
Yeah, you're good. It's in the opposite corner of my new guitar. That's in the self-promotion.
Shame on you, even though you just did that.
Yeah, if you head to Twitch, you can catch us live. Watch us in video form. See what we look like if you haven't figured that out by going to Twitter or anything. It'd be really weird if you didn't know that. Either way. If you want to catch the video version of it without watching us live, no worries. You can go to YouTube, search Frantic Talks, you'll find us, because we don't have an official URL. We need 100 subscribers. So subscribe, guys. And we can give you a much better URL. That'll probably be /user/Frantic Talks, because I'm pretty sure that doesn't exist yet. Either way, I think, I can't reserve it, obviously. That's one I can't reserve. Either way. Last thing is you can find us on iTunes, search Frantic Talks. A lot of the ways to find us are just to search Frantic Talks. Odds are you'll find us. You can follow us on iTunes. Go to our frantictalks.com. It's the mothership where you can find all the articles, podcasts, and more. You click on each podcast, you can find most of the information that I mentioned previously. And there's also magic.frantictalks.com where we write about Magic the Gathering. And hopefully, we might have a third writer in the form of Grunt because he started playing Magic.
Yes. I have yet to play my first game. Hoping to do that this weekend, maybe.
There you go. That's what I'm doing after this podcast. So.
Wow.
It's going to be fun. All right. That covers the quote-unquote advertising. Let's start off like we always do after the advertising. Grunt, how was your week?
Destiny filled.
Yes, I believe that.
That was pretty much it.
Past 2 weeks, I guess. But yeah, that's still true to its word.
Even more so this week.
Mm-hmm.
But when I say that, that's literally what I mean. I pretty much did only that this week.
Right.
I did start building a Magic deck. So I don't know what I'm really doing. I'm just putting cool cards in there that I think would be good, but...
Hey, that's how everybody starts, man. Did I ever tell you the story of how I built mine?
No, I don't believe so.
All right, well, this will be a quick crash course in my Magic history. If you didn't listen to my Frantic Works podcast, where I think I did talk about this in my very first episode. Basically, I got one of the pre-constructed decks that you can buy. Kind of like the Planeswalker decks, but this was back before they were really knowing what they were doing with them. I got an elf deck from the set Lorwyn, so if anybody's listening and knows what that means, that's actually a really good deck. So I got that one, and it was just elves. And I played that a lot. And then my buddy was like, here, I want to trade you this card. And I was like, oh, I don't know. This looks like a cool card. It was this like 8-mana dragon that was 3 different colors. And I was like, wow, that looks so cool. So I took it and then decided, man, I only have 1 deck. I should expand it to those 3 colors. And 150 cards later, I had a deck that was 3 colors. That didn't do anything.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that happened. And I always try to tell people, don't make the mistake of putting every card you like into the deck, but then I realize that I'm telling them how to enjoy something that it is entirely up to them how to enjoy, so I probably shouldn't do that.
Shame on you. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just been that. Playing Destiny, trying to figure out what I want to put in my deck, my 60-card deck I'm going with.
Hey, if it's a couple over 60, you'll be okay. When I was at the pre-release, they usually recommend 40 cards, and I definitely played 41 because I couldn't cut the last one.
That was for the new Kaladesh set, right?
Yeah, it was
pre-release
fun. Yeah, I went to Walmart on Friday, which don't go buy booster packs at Walmart, people. Just don't do it. I do it because it's the closest thing to my work on my lunch break. But I went there to buy Kaladesh boosters, and they didn't have any. I was very saddened. So I ended up buying Shadows over Innistrad and got... Guess what I would have got? I got Corrupted Graftstone, the same freaking rare you got. And I was like, that's what I get for shit talking it.
That is amazing.
I was so upset. I was like, oh, come on, give me a cool investigate something, I don't know, and I get Corrupted Cluestone. I'm just like, motherfucker.
Never should have told Grunt that was a horrible pull.
It still is. That's not my point. I was just like, God.
I believe some people would call that karma or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, so a good Destiny-filled week is what I'm hearing.
Basically, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, then my week.
Pretty much it.
Yeah, I was about to say my week was basically the same beyond a few things. The back corner is a new guitar. It is a 7-string Epiphone MKH custom signature Les Paul. That's a lot of words. But basically, it's just my first 7-string. I've been learning some fun songs on it, including but not limited to Dream Theater, and more Dream Theater. And I am loving every second of it.
And Dream Theater.
And Dream Theater. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Nope.
So that was the only big highlight beyond playing a lot of Destiny. So we can start talking about that here in a minute, but I want to go on to the other story that I want to cover really quick, which isn't much of a story. It's more of a, we kind of shit-talk the PSR VR, and I feel like we can still shit-talk it.
Does it involve cables?
It does involve cables. So what you are seeing, let me scroll down here on screen, is a picture of everything that comes in the PSVR box, and it will run you, I think, $400. You might think 2 things to yourself. First thing, it looks like a VR headset and some cables, and you're right. Second thing you might think to yourself is, holy shit, that's a lot of cables.
That is a lot of cables. Cables everywhere.
Yeah, I'm going to tab over just to a funny still frame I got of the guys at IGN unboxing it with him wearing it and the other dude with a weird fucking look on his face. Basically,
I wish I could see this picture.
I mean, I could send it to you and tell you the time code to go to. I don't feel like it.
It's going to ruin our internet.
Yeah, exactly, and I want you to be able to be seen. Anyways, basically, the quote that they had, and I agree with this quote, was, "This looks like a very cool piece of technology, if you're quite all right with snakes on a plane in your living room." Or your living room looking like snakes on the plane, because of just how many cables there are. To be specific, it comes with the headset, which has its own set of cables. The PlayStation, it comes with headphones, it comes with an HDMI cable, it comes with a USB cable, and it comes with a VR headset connection cable, along with an AC adapter and an AC power lead. Those are all cable-based.
Cables.
It's just a lot of stuff to plug in. And, I mean, understandably, there's a lot going on with the VR headset. It's just, man, that's a lot of cables. I also heard other things related to, like, resolution and stuff, but I don't want to mention it just for fact that I could be wrong or lying or something. So, yeah.
If you have any more information about that, feel free to fill us in.
Yeah, hit us up on Twitter. Let us know if you know about that. The specific thing I heard was that it's not natively 4K, even though they claim it can go up to 4K. That was what a coworker had told me, and I was going to talk about it when I had him send me the link specifically of all those cables, because I thought that's where he read it, but I did not find it in there. So if you have information on that, would love it. But that's basically all I was going to mention to be around the PSVR. A lot of the games for it are looking cool. I think there's Forza, there's Resident Evil 7, and I think one of the Batman games is coming. Maybe Telltale could be in the VR. I don't remember, but I read a lot of different... It's got a lot of good launch titles. Probably the best launch title group I've seen for a system in a while. So that's looking
Batman
really cool.
In VR, that would be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if it's actually that, but I did read Batman was coming to it in some form. I hope it's that, because that'd actually be really cool. I don't know how you would be flying around as Batman in a demo, but hey.
I could actually say I'm Batman.
You could. We all could, and that's pretty cool. All right. Well, other than that, if you got information on that, like a link or something, definitely hit us up on the Frantic Talks Twitter account, or me at FranticJ3, or him at Onyx Spartan, or all three. That way you know we saw it.
You could say that that information about the resolution got buried in a bunch of cables.
Ha I like it. Okay. We're going to move on to talking about something that doesn't require so much of a pun. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yes, it does.
Okay, there might be a ton of puns.
You could work them in there. Anyways.
Okay, so Destiny: Rise of Iron. We've talked about it before on here, but it wasn't out. There was some speculation, and there was some more confirmed stuff. Now we've played it after about a week and a half. I want to start off overall impressions. Grunt, do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's all right? What is your overall impression?
It's probably the best expansion Destiny has had to date yet. So yes, I love it.
I was about to say, yeah, I think I can agree with what you're saying there. I quite enjoy it. I have a few minor issues with it, and I think it's issues everybody shares, which is basically when we get down into the nitty-gritty details. It's not like, oh, I hate the aesthetics or something like that, which would be a big takeaway. No, there's minor little things, and I think you'll probably either agree with me or at least see where I'm coming from when I mention that. But to give like a big overview, Rise of Iron is the new expansion before the rumored Destiny 2 comes eventually. That's actually something we'll talk about a little later. But it is all about the Iron Banner, the Iron Lords, and all that fun stuff, if you know what all that is from Destiny. Hopefully you know what it is if you're still listening. If not, I'd love to fill you in, but that's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Just Lord Salad Bar.
Lord Salad Bar, as we all call him. Anyways, it's kind of like the history of the Iron Lords in a way. I don't know if I'd call it history as much as it's kind of why he's the only one left.
It goes into a little backstory about why he's the only one left, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's this cool little hammer that you see on screen that you get to use. It's a lot of fun.
It's an axe, not a hammer.
You forge iron with a hammer. I'm going to stick to hammer.
It's an axe.
I mean, yeah, it looks like a tomahawk almost. But either way. Maybe that's just because I see tomahawks and everything, but that's not the point.
Go back to Call of Duty, nerd.
Yeah,
what?
Yeah, I'm not doing that. It's been a cold day in hell when that happens, man.
Anyways, man, shots fired.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about new ones, I play Call of Duty 4 on this computer every now and then.
Oh yeah,
that was a burp. Tasted like Diet Mountain Dew. This episode is brought by Diet Mountain Dew. It's not.
God.
It's really not. But if you want to go drink Diet Mountain Dew, be my guest. Anyways, back to Rise of Iron. So it covers kind of like the history of the Iron Lords. It adds a new game mode to. I can't speak words right now.
It adds a new game mode to Crucible.
Yes, to Crucible, called Supremacy, or if you were a Call of Duty player, it's called Kill Confirmed. The idea behind it, you kill somebody, instead of getting the point for killing them, you have to go confirm your kill by picking up their crest that they've dropped, and then you get 2 points if you do it yourself. If your teammate does it, the team gets the point, and then you get the credit for the kill. So it's a lot of scoring based off of picking up these crests, and you can deny those crests if you're on the other team, or if it's your teammate dies and you're next to him, you can deny it. So it's a lot of teamwork based gameplay, and it's not necessarily just your go kill a bunch of people. It's go kill them, but you got to confirm the kills as well. And it's a lot of fun. It is easily my new favorite game mode in the game. I struggle to play other game modes because of how much fun it is, even though I've won like 30% of my games. It's just a lot of fun. Kill Confirm was my favorite thing in Call of Duty when they released it, and I refused to play TDM after that point. And so I'm glad it is in this game because it's just a lot more fun. It makes the games more chaotic, in my opinion, because everyone's just grouped up way more often, so you can get off crazy supers or cool chain more multi-kills. It's just so much more fun. I
don't know what you're talking about. It's not like I Nova bombed 3 people that were tethered.
Go to my Twitter account. I uploaded that video.
Nice.
I totally missed the tether. I'm not bragging about my tether in any manner, but he totally Nova bombed everybody. It was great.
It's actually twice I've done that.
Yeah,
once with your tether and once with Freak Show's tether.
May he rest in peace. He's not dead. He's just not here. Or honorary podcast.
Yeah. Professional podcast guest, as he calls himself.
Yeah, professional podcast guest.
Yeah, I have to agree, though. Supremacy is amazing. I played Control a little bit earlier in the week, and it's like Control was Destiny's original staple game type. It's like Territories from Halo is what I always compared it to. It was always compared to something else from Call of Duty. I don't know what that would be. So, Domination. maybe.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Hey, good guess.
Good call.
Um, and then now I think Supremacy has moved more so into that, at least from my perspective, because it's fun. It requires teamwork, but you also have to be careful so you don't group up together and all get killed by a super or a well-placed grenade or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, you could be in a close game where you only need 1 or 2 crests to win. The other team needs 5. Boom, they kill all of you. You just lost the game.
Right. I mean, that would apply to Clash too, but it's definitely even more so in this one because sticking together is a pretty good strategy because you can deny crests of people dying. I remember one of the earlier games we played on Thieves' Den. No, it wasn't Thieves' Den. It was the other one that's crap. It's the one with the eye in the middle and you're in space.
Oh, that's one of the new maps.
No, it's not new. No, it was added. I don't remember when it was added. Now I can't even think of words right now. You're in the Vestian Outpost. There's the eye in the middle. There's no gravity.
Oh, Drifter.
There we go. I remember it was like, oh, we need to get some. It was like 140 to 148 or something like that, and they were winning. We were like, oh, we need to take them down, and the whole entire team was on the side of the map running in a big line. And then we were just running in circles essentially, team versus team. We couldn't get to them, and then their team popped a Storm Trance and wrecked us.
Yes.
So that's exactly what happened. Honestly, it's been a lot of fun. So not only did it add a new game mode, it added like 3 or 4 new maps.
I think 3 new maps.
Because I can
maybe
think of
4 if you're playing on the PlayStation.
Yeah, because I can think of it's probably the extra ones on PlayStation. I think of the one that's it's almost exactly the same as another map, but it's on Venus. I don't remember the name of it. There's that one. Like the spawn points remind me of another map because they're the exact same layout, but then the middle is different.
Right.
And then there's the one that's got like the inside lava room. Don't remember the name of that one either. I don't remember the name of any of the maps, honestly. That's not how I communicate. I'm like, oh, it's this map. And then there's one
it's this map. I hate this map.
There's the subway map which is what Trials is on this week.
Ew. Not a good Trials map.
It's just shotguns.
Well, also it makes flanking, whatever team is in the middle room, they've got 2 large windows that they can see the outer courtyard with.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, for other game modes, it's not terrible. For a game like Trials where, flanking your enemy and taking them by surprise is a very good tactic and a strong tactic to use.
Yeah.
It just kind of makes no sense. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it added a bunch of new maps, and it also added custom games, but that came before the expansion. You don't need the expansion, but it was added a week before the game came out. So that's been pretty cool to be able to go in. I've already seen great uses of the custom game modes, not in the sense of tweaking game modes and making cool little custom lobbies, but game battles already exists and is using it now. So a lot of people are practicing with Trials on that. There are a lot of the people I follow on YouTube do a lot of like Planet Destiny. Basically, I follow them, and then a lot of the guys who are with Planet Destiny who actually just left Planet Destiny, which was like the guys who did the Planet Destiny live podcast. All 5 of them just left Planet Destiny. Not because Planet Destiny is a bad place, but because they just wanted to do their own thing. They all left, and I followed pretty much all of them before they left. And they've been all doing like gun demos in custom game modes and stuff like that. So you've been able to see like the different perks bouncing side by side. So there's been great uses of that instead of them having to go in and get go into patrol. I just knocked my mic. Go into patrols to like fight against stuff and say, oh, it feels like this. They can literally just compare the recoils of guns or compare the range damage to a friend or something like that. So I've been seeing a lot of really good uses like that. Honestly, it just allows more data crunching than anything for people to be like, this is exactly what we need.
Oh yeah, so, and I knew that would be a huge benefit that places like Planet Destiny and even your other YouTubers out there that do weapon reviews, I knew they would absolutely love it because they could go into a quote-unquote controlled environment and not have to rely upon matching up with friends so they can let them kill them or going into like classic free-for-all with a fire team and finding friends. So it's
exactly. It's just much. It feels like it should have been there from the beginning, but it's finally here and it was free. I believe it's free at least. I mean, I don't know if you have to have the older expansions or not.
I'm not sure if you. I'm not sure exactly on what all you need for custom games. I know they're in the game, but I don't know if you need to have certain DLCs or not.
Right. So anyways, that's the bulk of the Crucible stuff. There are some weapon tweaks that you can note that we're not really going to get into because we don't need to. I don't really focus too much on PvP, although I have been enjoying it more recently due to Supremacy. But either way, that's the bulk of the Crucible, unless you have something else to add. I mean, Iron Banner starts next week, right?
It does indeed start next week. And game mode will be... Trials is happening this weekend. The map is one of the new ones, like we said earlier.
Supremacy, right?
Iron Banner Supremacy is going to be the very first... Supremacy is going to be the first game mode featured in Iron Banner. Last time, usually it was normally Control when Iron Banner first came out, then they eventually tried Clash. I think one time they let it be Rift.
Yeah, Rift was the first one I actually participated in.
Yeah. And then they've cycled back and forth with Clash and Control mostly. I think last time it was Control, or Clash, I mean. So I'll probably venture into it just because it's Supremacy and I want to see what cool stuff they're having.
Yeah. And, I mean, ranking up to rank 5 will at least get you decent gear if you haven't gotten to a certain light level.
That's true.
So let's talk about light levels and more, I guess, I don't know if it's sandbox details, but more of your PvE aspect of it, I guess. Let's start with the story mode that you have to go through before you can patrol, and any point beyond that without getting into too many spoilers, if we can.
I love it.
Okay.
The storyline, it's fairly short. I think it's only like 5, maybe 6 missions.
Yeah.
So I wish it would have been a little longer in that aspect, but I'm not going to complain. It helps you get through it quicker. So if you want to experience end game content, you don't have to sit there and trudge through like 4 hours with the storyline. Even though
exactly.
I probably totally would.
Well, I mean, you're talking to the base game where you got to go from 0 to 20 or 1 to 20 through all the story modes. Yeah.
Right. I love how it really does what they said it was. It's going to make you become an Iron Lord, and they feature more cutscenes in it, I think, than what they have done in their past expansions. So it has a little bit of cinematic drive to it. Mm-hmm. And I like that. I don't mind watching cutscenes. And the battle at the last level is just very, very awesome. I like it. Plus, if you complete it, you get a little something at the end too of it. So,
which is definitely cool. We don't want to do any spoilers, but yeah,
nope.
I definitely agree with that. I think the story mode's pretty cool. The couple story missions you get, and I mean, I can't really add too much to what you said because you kind of just said what I was thinking. The ending boss battle is pretty freaking sweet.
Oh yes.
I don't know how much of a spoiler this is because I'm going to go ahead and say this is technically a spoiler, but not at all because we knew about it. Sepix, when you first encounter Sepix, Reborn or whatever.
Perfected.
That was Sepix Perfected. That was pretty cool. We kind of knew he was coming back, so I don't count that too much of a spoiler. So,
well, they said they were going to bring the strike back as Sepix Perfected too. So
yeah, so we knew he wasn't dead in a sense, and that was pretty cool. And there are a lot of things in the PvE that we keep discovering in terms of just really great lines from Nolan Bot, especially the one we heard. What was it? I think it was last night.
Oh my god,
that was so funny. When you're going back through, is it Fogoth?
Yeah, it's now the Hive Abomination Strike. But if you go and select the Fogoth Strike on the Moon, you can change the difficulty of it to the new updated 320 version of it, and it's got some. It's basically the same strike, but it has certain aspects thrown into it that reflect what they've done in bringing back some of the older strikes. Some of the enemies are different. Some of the encounters are different.
The lines are great.
Man,
there have been a few really funny lines from Nolan Bot so far. I don't want. There was one. He's like in the Hive Abomination one. The first door you get to, you have to let him decode 3 runes, which is basically just spawning in 3 waves of enemies, and you just fight them. But what the hell did he say right when you walked up to it?
Oh, the Hive. Something about the Hive being determined. They keep locking the door over and over again.
No matter how many times we come back.
No matter how many times we come back. It's a great line. I don't think us even saying it word for word could do it justice, because it's probably my favorite thing he says.
Speaking
Honestly.
of really funny lines, I don't know if you guys have heard it yet in the Archon Forge, but I don't know which one triggers it, but I know for a fact I heard it. When you beat the Archon Forge at some point, Nolan Bot said to me at least, he said it like this: "We are dead. Or, they are dead. You are not."
Oh,
He freaking said that.
Kinda
reflecting the Prison of Elders and
mimicking Barracks there.
it was so funny. Oh
Our
man,
Ghost has attitude. I like that.
I know he's got some spice and kick to him. It was really funny. His lines are great. So with PvE, we get these new missions. We get a new raid. We get a new area to patrol. We get new exotic weapon missions, and weapon quests. Sorry, and we get a new Court of Oryx style thing called the Archon Forge. And is there anything else I can't new legendary weapons, all the new factions like the Dead Orbit, and everybody drop new weapons and
faction items.
Yeah, new color schemes for the Crucible and Vanguard, and
there are a couple new exotic armor pieces and weapons that you can
get. New exotics, and
Curse
so
user.
far the only one that I've gotten out of the quest line is the Kvostov. The Kvostov. I can't say it.
Kvostov is how you pronounce it.
That's what I said. Yeah, the Kvostov, which if any of you remember, it's actually the very first assault, or it's the very first weapon you pick up in the game. It's got the cracked red dot sight and everything, but it's an exotic now that you can toggle different types of. It's the most customizable gun in the game. It allows you to change between a full auto, semi-auto, and
pulse rifle.
Essentially pulse, but it's a burst rifle.
Burst rifle, yeah.
Yeah, you can change all those things, although there's really no point in not doing full auto because it really doesn't change the damage rate too much. Not to get too specific. But the quest that you do is great, and I don't want to spoil it. If you get the chance to do the Kvostov quest, which is either dismantling your old Kvostov and getting the blueprint for it and starting the quest line, or you have to go through a couple of specific patrols, I believe, or you go through a patrol to get it or something. I would Google it because I don't personally know. I had a Kvostov lying around. So I was just like, yeah, sure, why not? So
I still regret not keeping my original, but it was worth it. That quest is such a trip down nostalgia lane for people that played the game from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. Even those that didn't play it but are familiar with some of the stuff back from year one. It's probably my favorite quest right now.
Yeah, it was definitely a really good quest. So after that, there's the Iron Gallahorn, which is its own quest. I haven't actually gotten the quest. I don't know if it's the Iron Gallahorn, but it's a Gallahorn.
The Gallahorn. Iron Gallahorn was pre-order bonus for the DLC or expansion, whatever.
Yeah. There's that. There's the Thorn, the Year 3 Thorn. I haven't gotten that quest either. You basically, once you finish the Kvostov one, once you start turning in bounties, you'll randomly receive it, from what I understand. And then there's one other exotic, and I don't remember it. I believe it's related to the raid. I don't remember the name of it. It's like is it a pulse rifle or a scout rifle? I don't remember.
It's a pulse rifle.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've seen footage of the gun, so.
Yeah. It's actually pretty cool. I don't know if I'll ever get it. I imagine I will at some point, but it's actually pretty cool. One of the perks on it, I think, if I remember correctly, was if you shoot an enemy enough, it releases a Siva swarm that does a little damage over time.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Or it's your headshots on them release a Siva swarm. I don't remember.
Yeah, something like that, but it's pretty sweet. It's related to monitors in the raid, I believe.
Yes, yeah, there's 5 monitors in the raid that you have to do something with. I don't personally know. I haven't watched any footage beyond how to beat the raid, so I haven't looked at any Easter eggs in the raid. So let's talk about strikes in the raid. Well, if anybody, we just mentioned Siva. Siva's kind of like the driving thing. It's this material that the Iron Lords were trying to use, and it kind of can do it can build colonies. I think is the quote by Salad Bar. It's like it could build colonies and stuff, and that was the idea. But the Fallen get a hold of it and don't know how to use it right, and it starts infecting them. And that's essentially what it is. And there's these Siva clusters and stuff that you can find. It's the driving point behind the storyline essentially. So that's what when we say Siva, that's what it is. So strikes first. There's like we said, there's Fogoth got remade. Sepix Perfected got remade. Were that the only 2?
There's another one. The new strike is called the Wretched Eye Strike. It's a brand new strike altogether.
Right. And have we done? Yeah, we've done that one. That's the one where you fight their mage, not their mage, their
Splicer Priest.
Splicer Priest. That's what he's called, and he's got a little friend to help him out. That's actually a really hard strike, surprisingly enough, even when you're higher level.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just Artburn and that strike, they don't go well together at all.
No.
And neither will Voidburn either.
I was about to say Voidburn's gonna suck because the main dude fires Void, so that's gonna be awful.
And he pretty much, even at a higher level than what the strike is intended for, he pretty much kills you with just a couple short bursts from that anyway.
Yeah, and
so
he teleports right behind you, and you're pretty much dead unless you knew exactly he was. You have to like basically react to him teleporting behind you, even if he doesn't do it. So it's tricky. We've wiped a few times, but we've beaten it plenty of times to know how to do it. He's got an ogre that he's kind of tamed that's there. Eventually breaks free and starts chasing you, but he's walks slow. But the lower down the health you get on the Splicer, the faster the ogre gets, essentially. To the point of where you have to literally have someone just bait the ogre around or else he'll kill you because he moves so fast. So it's a cool strike nonetheless. It's tricky.
I want a pet ogre. Oh wait.
The only other one I was gonna say that Solar Burn with the Gallahorns is stupid on the Hive Abomination strike.
So Gallahorn and Solar Burn in the same sentence is stupid.
That's true.
Stupidly fun.
Yeah. Sepix Remastered or Perfected. Sepix Perfected I like because the song they play during the Sepix fight was written by Periphery's guitarist. I don't remember his name.
It's amazing. That's all that you need to know.
It's a sweet-ass heavy metal rendition of the fight song there, so definitely go do that strike if you haven't already.
Yes.
Other than that, it's heroic strikes. I don't know what else to add to that. But they're good. Let's talk about the raid. Now, I haven't actually gotten to play it. I watched people on day one trying to complete it, and I've watched tutorials on how to beat it, so that way the day I started up, I'm not completely clueless like I was for King's Fall. So I know you've played it. I don't know if you finished it.
I haven't finished it. It doesn't look like I will probably get the chance to. Because I'm only like 368 light, and the enemies at the last level are, I think, 380. So it's a little bit more difficult. I had... except for the fact I was really good at running away from enemies that day, I had a little trouble staying alive when we got to the one phase of it at the end. The other day when I played it. Actually, I don't even know. It might have reset by now. I don't remember. I don't remember exactly when I did that.
I don't want to do too much on the raid, but there was parts of it that looked really fun, and from the feedback I'm seeing, it's actually a really fun raid.
Oh, it is. It is. It is an absolute fun raid. I like it. I think I still prefer Vault of Glass as my top favorite, but I think Wrath of the Machine is probably my second, and maybe with time it'll go up to number one and knock off Vault of Glass. Once you beat it. It's a fun raid. There's really not that many mechanics to learn like there was with King's Fall raid, where you had to jump up on the platform, but one person couldn't jump before the other, all that really confusing stuff when you're doing a raid at 3 a.m.
Yeah, easy to focus then, right?
No. But it's sheer chaos at times. Like when you're getting into the... I'll just say after the first boss, because I don't want to spoil it, but after the first boss that you get, when you get into it, that part is really fun. It's called the Death Zamboni.
I was going to say, you're talking about the Death Zamboni, because that looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
It is a blast. So...
Oh, man.
I got a piece of the raid armor, and I've seen other people wearing the raid armor, and I'm not too sure I like the look of it. It's got like Siva clusters on it, and it just looks weird. The Warlock chest piece looks like you have one of those old-fashioned washboards on your chest, and it's like, huh.
I've seen the Hunter Cloak, and it's like the very defined polygon look to it, and it's like really dumb looking. Like I don't know how to describe it beyond that.
I want to talk about an awesome class bond or class item. The Warlock bond from the Sepix Perfected strike is amazing.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's got like it's just a Warlock bond. It's got like pieces of Fallen and Siva onto it, but it's also got like a holographic display that flashes between one of the Fallen house symbols and the Siva symbol. So it's pretty cool. Nice. I saw someone using that in Tower, and I'm like, I want that.
Well, then we got to go farm Sepics, right? Get some keys and then open the chest.
Right.
No, we should mention that strike-specific loot doesn't drop anymore. There is a chest that drops at the end of every heroic strike. Well, strike in general.
Strike period.
And you have to use what's called a skeleton key, and skeleton keys drop from doing strikes. Apparently, they drop better from the lower level ones, so you can run through some lower level ones, get a key, and then go take on a heroic one if you wanted. I don't know if you'd even need to do the heroic one. I don't know if do they drop based on light level or based on the difficulty.
They just drop. It's like most other things in the game. It's RNG.
Okay.
So
yeah,
it just seems that, obviously, things that are supposed to be higher have a better chance of dropping stuff. But I've seen a lot of stuff where the lower level strike playlist drops them better than the heroic playlist. So.
Okay.
I've been lucky, and I've gotten keys quite often. So.
I've gotten one, I think, and I used it on. I want to say Omnigul.
Oh, yeah. That's something else we should mention too.
Yeah, so in relation to strikes, and then I think from there we'll talk about overall enjoyment of the game and move on to speculation.
Speculation, ho!
So Omnigul. So for those of you who don't know, the light level cap is 385. 365 is kind of like a midpoint where certain things stop dropping at that level, and you really got to work towards the next light levels. When you do a heroic strike and you beat it, you get usually I think it's 2. You get 2 random items that are blue that drop basically at or above your light level. So that's essentially how you're supposed to level up. And while it's not that hard to do these strikes and level up that way, people wanted to level up fast. Well, they found out that if you farmed Omnigul like you would farm her for the Grasp of Malak and the Warlock Bond, that she actually dropped. She could, if you just completed the strike, but you killed her twice, because you have an ability to kill her once when you first see her, and then you can kill her a second time. Every time you killed her, she dropped the stuff. So people just killed her in the first encounter, and then wiped, and then just kept doing it. Kind of like it was how you would farm for the Grasp of Malak or the Omnigul Bond back in the at least King's Fall, because that's what we did. They found out you could do that, and that's how people leveled up their light level in like an hour, and they got to like 365 immediately. So we were doing that briefly, and then this past Tuesday, Bungie was like, hey, we just released a hot fix that fixes these things, and one of them was Omnigul only drops once, and it's at the end of the heroic strike. And everyone was all like, oh.
Well, she'll drop items if you kill her once. They're like the old farm method, but it will just be the one time you kill her, and then if you want additional drops, you have to go and finish the strike.
Right. So you can get the extra drops for putting out the effort to kill her twice, but only once. You can't just keep doing it like everyone was doing.
Right. Which, surprisingly, a lot of people haven't been that upset about.
Oh, everybody already got to 365 at this point.
Right. You've had a lot of people that are late in the game, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to go farm Omnigul. And then the hotfix came out, and it's like, oh, well, I'm no longer farming Omnigul. Oh, well. So I honestly thought there would be more backlash from it. Like, there was when they originally closed off the loot cave, or shut down the loot cave back in year 1. People were fairly upset about that.
I think it's a matter of... So when you look at leveling up your light level, 365 is a good benchmark for doing... 365 is recommended raid light, that's why I keep saying it, but...
370 is actually the recommended raid light.
Oh, really? I thought it was 365.
In-game, it's recommended. When I got through to the end of the raid, well, basically to the boss, because I guess there's 2 phases to the final boss before you actually finish the raid. Hopefully that's not a spoiler. Sorry if it is.
I don't think it is.
But I was 364 when I first went in, so...
Yeah.
And that was pretty much about the same. So I think you could, if you have a good enough team that's comprehensive enough to know what to do, you could probably get through the first couple bosses of the raid at 365-ish to 370.
Yeah, I know most of the teams that beat the raid were between 365 and 370. A couple make a guy or two over 370.
Yeah. Anyways, getting sidetracked. My bad.
No, you're good. No, but basically, this is how you level up your light level is through these heroic strikes, and I think basically what we were talking about was if it was much harder to get to 385 light, I think there would be more backlash. And how you get from to 385 light once you get beyond the barrier of the blues stop dropping at a higher light level than you're at is through through your reputation packages, the raid. Do legendary engrams stop dropping at a certain light level? As in, they go, is it 365 or 370 or something like that, I thought?
I don't know if they stop dropping when you hit a certain level, because I'm still below 370. So if they stop dropping at 370, that might be the case. But most legendary items I've gotten from engrams, or even the odd legendary item I've gotten from a blue engram, has dropped about my level. It's been sometimes it's been 1-2 levels higher. I've gotten one that I lucked out, and it was like 4 levels higher. And I've gotten some legendary items that drop a couple levels below what I need. So I don't know for sure if they stop dropping or stop decoding at a certain level or not. I can't say because I'm not. If it is, it might be 370. I don't know.
Yeah, the patch notes are like, I remember reading the update when it was like, oh, it comes out today, here's the stuff you need to know. I want to say 365 is where everything stopped dropping, unless it was like a rep package or raid stuff or something like that.
Right.
But I have heard from the people I follow on YouTube where it's like, for the stuff when you're decoding engrams and everything, it's between it's a 5 light level increment. So from 350 to 355, if you're level 354, you won't get anything over 355, and then 355 to 360, you got to get to 360 before you get to go any higher. That's essentially the idea, where it's like your light level, it goes up in increments of 5, so you'll get between 355 and 360 if you're in somewhere in that realm. That's what I heard. I don't know how true that is. I mean, the highest I've gotten anything to drop was at 360, and I was at 356, so I know I can get that high, but I haven't hit anything over 360.
I know blue engrams stopped decoding up to 340, because anymore, whenever I decode a blue engram, it's just like 340, 340.
Yeah, exactly. Unless it's the strike-specific drops, or not strike-specific, but the drops at the end of the heroic strike, they will only drop at 340.
Yeah, they will drop in accordance to your level.
Yeah, exactly.
One or two, sometimes a little higher levels than what you currently are.
So I guess this moves on to my biggest complaint about the expansion is how hard it seems it is to level up. Because with the April update we got with the Prison of Elders and everything, it felt like my time was actually valued, and I could actually level up being a more casual-based player. Because I work a ton and do other things beyond playing the game each night, and that's not a knock to anybody who does that. I just don't play it nearly as much as I used to. That's a symptom of me not having as much time. So me getting to max light level is a grind and a chore now compared to Prison of Elders. I literally was at 334, and I playing the amount I play now. So it was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, why did they change that? And I know that's a big complaint by a lot of people. It's like, why did we take what was praised about the game and kind of just undo it? To where we're back to the point of, you have to do the raid, and you have to do Trials of Osiris, and you have to rank up your rep packages if you even want to get close to the highest light level.
Right. The thing about that, it seems weird. It seems like they took a step backwards in terms of the leveling system. Mm-hmm. But I think looking at it overall, it's still relatively the same. It's not, you're not going to be like 355, and you're not going to be getting like a 370 piece that will really boost you up there.
Right.
So it's going to be a little smaller, so it's kind of making the grind a little bit more real again. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it really truly ever left either. That grind was still there. It's just more noticeable now because things are dropping closer to your level. Instead of, like back when the April update came out, you could get exotics from exotic engrams to drop up to 5 levels from what you are. So if you had...
Now you're hard-pressed to get that.
Yeah. Yeah, because so far most exotics I've gotten have just been 2-3 levels.
Yeah, I think I got my level.
I think I got a multi-tool from one engram yesterday that dropped at 372. So, considering I'm 368, that's like pretty much as max as I can go.
Right, it's only 4, maybe 5 if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I think that's my biggest complaint. Other than that, I haven't had too much complaints. I mean, the only thing that makes me mad is how much shotguns are prevalent or in PvP, but I guess that's just always how it is. Shotguns are just really good. I mean, I'm not lying, or I shouldn't be saying too much. I use them pretty often, but that's my that. I mean, I quite enjoy sniper rifles, but I just wasn't using them nearly as much. So, and most of the new maps are very shotgun friendly, so I have barely switched off into a sniper rifle when I've been playing.
See, if I try and switch off a sniper rifle and start using a shotgun, I'll go back a day or two later and be absolutely horrible with that sniper rifle. So I'm just kind of sticking with sniper for now.
I mean, I think that honestly covers most of the stuff in relation to Rise of Iron. The raids seems pretty fun. Is apparently very fun. They added a lot of cool new stuff. There's a lot of cool little Easter eggs and funny little lines and stuff that we don't really want to spoil. Overall, it's a pretty good expansion. Probably the best one in my opinion, and yours as well. They definitely finished out. I don't want to say finished out, but they definitely give us something really good. I've seen honestly some pretty good critiques of it. IGN's article was like 7.5 because it's an unimaginative storyline, and it feels like they're just waiting for Destiny 2, blah, blah, blah. So let's, unless you have anything to add, we can move on to Destiny 2, which I did mention we were going to talk about.
No, I can't really. If you can, you should totally invest in I think Memory of T. Moore is the name of the artifact.
Oh, the one that...
You should totally invest in that. That thing is 10 out of 10 on the fun scale. I can have a pet ogre.
Yeah, basically it lets him melee stuff and take over them. Like, he literally becomes the Taken King. They don't turn into Taken enemies. They just literally turn against their teammates, and they're on your side.
Yeah.
It's really funny because we've taken ogre. It's 30 seconds, I think we timed.
Yeah, I think it's about 30 seconds.
We've taken, an ogre, a wizard, a shit ton of dregs. Oh my god, it's so dumb.
I took a cursed thrall, a knight.
Did you actually take a cursed thrall? That's amazing.
I did. Several shanks. Yeah. So it's pretty great. And if you take an enemy, captains too. That's another thing. If you take an enemy, you can, if they wear off and they start being an enemy again, you can go back and you can try and take them again. So you can take like the same captain. Maybe he's still alive and there's more thrall over there. Go get that captain again. You can maybe take that captain and 3 or 4 thrall with. So
yeah, it's really funny, and it kept happening.
Amazing.
It just kept happening.
It happened several times during the raid when I did it, and it's like, whoops! No one find out about this, otherwise I might get kicked.
All right, so on screen I have a YouTube video by a guy known as Tefty Teft. He was one of the members of Planet Destiny that I follow. He's right above my head right now. I know this isn't the best placing, but he posted this video talking about Destiny 2 and rumors, which led me to the source article. And that's the only reason I mentioned him is just so you know where I found it, which was on Kotaku. Now, he mentions it's Kotaku, so, but anytime they've predicted something with Destiny, it's been 100% right. So it's safe to say that this could be a very accurate description. Now, this is entirely speculation up to this point, but Destiny 2, according to this article, would be, one, it's an unannounced sequel, but everyone's like, Destiny 2 should be coming. Looks like it's going to come to PC. It's going to be very different in the terms of just how it is, and potentially we won't either be able to carry over our characters or our light level or something along the lines of that. And this has generated basically discussion amongst Destiny fans and the community. What would we like Destiny 2 to be? And I want to mention it because it's like we have enough experience between us as Destiny players to say, this is what I would like, this is what I wouldn't like, here's hoping, and stuff like that. So I don't want to take too much time talking about this since it's pure speculation and we could just sit here rambling for an hour and it not matter. But basically, I'll start and I'll let you say something because I've played a decent amount of MMOs and I know how MMO transferring from expansion to expansion should be. Granted, this isn't technically an expansion as much as it's a sequel. Most of the comments I read on Reddit were like, oh, they said in the beginning it's a 10-year project and we carry our characters all the way through. And then people were like, oh, well, that can change. And most people were like, I want to keep my character, but I don't care about gear and light level. They could stick to Year 1 or Destiny 1. I'd be cool with just taking my character into the next game. And it's just like they're using a lot of what Bungie said in the beginning, and a lot of them are like, well, there's a lot of stuff they said that they've gone back on or changed, and it's due to nefarious reasons. I mean, there's been changing creative director, I think one of the comments said. There was one point they were talking about a summer raid in House of Wolves or something like that, and it never happened. There's just a lot of stuff where it's like, yeah, they said this, but it didn't end up happening. So in terms of bringing our characters along for this 10-year journey, it might not happen. That is the one thing of everything I've read that I don't want to happen. Basically, I want to keep my characters. I don't care about light level. I don't care about my gear. I'm okay if my gear still exists, but is useless in Destiny 2, because it'd be cool to just kind of do a throwback Crucible night where we all use multi-tools or some shit. But it's basically the only thing I want to keep for sure, and it's cool if I keep all my other stuff, but it's useless, is my characters. If the Kvostov quest is any indication of how players feel about their characters, then they should take that into account. Because everyone loved the end of that because of how nostalgic it is. And we're not going to spoil it, don't worry. It's just a matter of everybody was like, man, that was a great trip down memory lane. And a lot of people are like, maybe that's foreshadowing. Like, they know that you guys have had this big journey, and you're going to continue having it for the next, 7 years or whatever, since it's been 3 years since Destiny... Or when Destiny 2 comes out, it'll be 3 years since Destiny came out. So...
It's true, Loki.
Personally, that's the only thing I'm really... adamant about, because when it comes to World of Warcraft, every expansion, all your previous gear is useless, but your character still existed and at that level. They could level reset us. I don't care. I would hope if they did that and we got this, we still had our 3 classes, or I guess our 3 element, like your Stormcaller and stuff. I would hope we could still keep our subclasses. I would still hope we would keep the ability to use them. I wouldn't want to re-level through all of them. I still haven't finished leveling through my Hunter, who has what is it? What's the blade? Arc blade. I still have yet to. I still have yet to fully max out Blade Dancer, even though all 3 of my other subclasses on my other non-main characters have been maxed out. But I would hope we'd at least keep some progress in that sense, because it's if they introduce entirely new abilities and ways to roll your character and stuff, where it's Stormcaller still exists, but all these new things exist and it's way different, then I'd want to level through it to learn it, but it would seem pointless. And that's where everyone's like, well, if it's coming to PC and PC players who never played it and need to know all that stuff, they'll have to do it all. And it's well, I don't know how they're going to do it. So what do you think?
I think, I don't know whether it's going to come to PC or not. If it does, it does. That's great. Larger community.
The player base, yeah, exactly.
That's even better. And I've said it on here and in several articles. I'm a community-oriented person. So,
our last podcast was about that, wasn't it?
It was
we were
indeed.
Just it was all about community, so yeah.
Yeah, so, a larger Destiny community is great. I like it.
Mm.
And if it means that going to PC does that, then great. So be it. I would like to see the character progression in that sense transfer over from game to game. Because even though I don't like the way my Hunter looks, and I've seriously considered restarting it, I've become attached to that character.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's my guardian. It's my character. I created it because I kind of did, but whatever. Gear, light level, that's not. I don't care.
Exactly.
Most of my vault is full of all the old year 1 raid weapons and year Crota's End stuff and that I've gotten. I've become attached to that. That's why it's still in there, and that's pretty much 90% of my vault space right now.
Order.
I can't help it. You know how long it took me to get a Fatebringer?
I don't want to know.
I think I got it 2 months before House of Wolves came out.
Yeah.
So it'd be about 6 months, maybe half a year. Probably more than that even. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But the one thing I would like to see transfer over is maybe your emotes, shaders, emblems, because there's a lot of really cool emblems I've gotten that I like. I'd be a little sad if I couldn't use my Shield of Mythics.
I feel like you're going to still be able to use all the year 1 and year 2 stuff.
Yeah.
It seems like it'd be stupid if you couldn't.
Right. So when it comes to carrying stuff over, that's really the only thing I want to see. New game, new weapons, new sandbox. I want to use the new stuff necessarily, not my old stuff that I've had for, like you said, probably 3 years by the time it would come out. Mm-hmm. So that's how I think on it. If it comes out to the PC, great, bigger community. Carrying stuff over, let me take my character maybe. If we have to start over, I'm not going to be upset, but
yeah, I think they would receive a lot of backlash if they did make us start over, I think.
Yeah.
But, they're going to do what they do, and, if they make a good game, I think overall people would get over it. I don't want to just tell you to get over it because the game is still in speculation mode. We're still in rumor mills at this point. But if they just make a really good game, I don't think we'll be too upset. Now, if they make a meh game that would have been much better with our characters, then you're going to hear some issues. But the only other thing I want to mention is if it does come to PC and we talk about moving character from console to console, because there are going to be people who maybe want to experience it on their PC with much better graphics than their Xbox or PlayStation can output. And then you want to mention just, if I have my level 40 hunter, do I have to start another hunter on the PC? And I don't want to open up this discussion too much because then we could start talking about cross-platform gaming in the sense of at the point it comes out in 2017, assuming it does come out then, will we have bridged the gap enough to where it could be PlayStation people going against people in Xbox and Trials of Osiris?
That's never going to happen.
Yeah, you never know.
At least not for a while.
And the main thing it would be, and to speculate on my own speculation here, you can't put PC people against console people. It's unfair because you can be way more accurate with a keyboard and mouse than you can with a controller. That's the only thing I would say there. If that was ever in their mind of something they were thinking to do, you can't do it. You can do it with Rocket League because it's stupid to play on a keyboard and mouse with Rocket League. You play it with a controller, but if you do it on a keyboard and mouse, it's much harder to do than, say, a first-person shooter. So that's the only reason it works for Rocket League. Honestly, it is. So, beyond that, I think that about sums it up. Like I said, I don't want to spend too much crazy amounts of discussion time. We're already pretty far over our normal limit, but big episode. But it basically,
which episode?
Big speculation, especially coming from Kotaku. But the source has supposedly been someone who has been able to guess correctly pretty much every time something's come out. So it's important to at least note it that there's apparently a rumor going around that it could be PC. So, and
I'm interested to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I am too. I think it'll be very interesting. We'll definitely talk about it more, a year from now when it starts happening.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, I don't think I have anything else to mention. Rise of Iron's pretty great. I would definitely recommend it. And that's about it.
I have to agree.
Anything else? Okay, cool.
Rise of Iron is the best. Rise of Iron, my favorite expansion so far. If you are wanting to find out what all this Destiny hype is, now's a great chance to jump in, really.
Oh, yeah. I would definitely say that. Okay. That being said, I guess I'll get our post-episode advertisements out of the way. We got on Twitter, FranticJ3 is me, at OnyxBarton is him, ONYX. And then you can go to Frantic_Talks on Twitter, and you can hit up our main account. Like I said earlier, shoot us information that we asked for if you have it. Oh, your camera was going in and out there.
I see that.
That's weird. Yeah, either way. Beyond that, you can go to Facebook.com/Frantic Talks. That's where we'll post all our articles and podcasts. Twitch.tv/FranticJ3 the third. Frantic J, the number 3, THE3RD. Some bastard took Frantic J3. I'll never get over that. Anyways, usually every Saturday, usually at 3 p.m. Eastern. Always keep an eye on the Twitter accounts. That's where we normally notify you of schedule changes. Head to youtube.com to find the video version of the podcast that we stream. Just search for Frantic Talks. There isn't really a nice URL for me to spin it to you. I've actually read it once, and it was awful. It's a lot of numbers and letters, and capital and not capital. So I'm not going to bother with that. Head to frantictalks.com to check out all of our podcasts, where you can find pretty much all the information I just gave you. There's stuff in the footer where you can hit like Twitter and stuff. There's the podcast. You can click on the YouTube channel. You can click on iTunes and find us and subscribe. You can just read the overview of the episode. All the fun stuff is there. Magic.frantictalks.com, where we post about Magic articles. And I think that's it. I think I hit everything.
I think so.
I went rapid fire through it. But hey, either way, definitely continue the conversation on Twitter. We will most likely respond the fastest and the most often on there. Thanks for listening, guys. I think it's been fun. You got anything else to add, Grunt?
No. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, definitely let us know.
Rise of Iron, if you played it, or just anything else. Talk to us.
Yeah, we definitely want to continue the conversation. Either way, I think we will see you guys next Saturday. It's going to be fun. We're probably going to talk more about Rise of Iron and some other random things that happen in the week. Should be fun. Either way, I think that about wraps it up. We'll see you guys next time. I'm Frantic.
I'm Grunt.
Have a good one.